Hey guys, welcome to my DVD update for Tuesday, April 23rd, 2013. Been about almost a month since my last one, not really that big of an update this time, but overall it's a pretty good one. First one not really a good one with this update. The 9 movies I have, it's either hit or miss. Either these movies were really good or I hated them. First one is the dollar DVD of American Vampire. This movie was stupid. Okay, so basically what you have is a really, really lame vampire comedy. Carmen Electra, one of her early things. It's so dumb. I hated this movie so much. It was so stupid. You know you're getting stupid when you know what else happens? Adam West shows up as a character called the Big Kahuna, a world-renowned surfer slash vampire slayer. And just so much happens in this movie. It's so stupid. American Vampire. It's like a mix of being a vampire and being a cannibal. The writer of the movie obviously could not tell the difference. Don't watch this. It was really crappy. Do not watch American Vampire. It is just so ungodly stupid. Acting's terrible. Funny I say that about that because this next one is one people consider it one of the worst comedies ever made, and I saw this movie for the first time when I was pretty young, and I've always really liked this movie. Corky Romano, starring Chris Kattan, Peter Berg, Peter Falk, Chris Penn, and Richard Roundtree. Shaft is in this. It's a comedy about this real low-life veterinarian guy who goes undercover for the FBI because his father's like a huge crime boss. It's a funny movie. I really have always loved this movie since I was young. I don't know why I saw this movie when I was so young, but I've always really liked it. I've had the VHS tape over there for years, since I was like maybe 8. I've got the VHS tape, and well, finally I picked up the actual DVD of Corky Romano. No features or anything, but it's good. It's got a fun soundtrack too. You got Take On Me, We're Not Gonna Take It, and I've Had the Time of My Life, all on the same soundtrack, so that's pretty fun. A lot of people hate the movie, but I'm a fan of it. Corky Romano, I truthfully don't see why it's so bad. The scene where he's giving that lecture in front of all the kids is hysterical to me. I should buy a boat! I don't know. I've always loved Corky Romano. I'd check it out. It's worth a laugh. It's got laughs. So yes. Now this next one is it's an 80s action movie that I have never ever heard of in my life until like 2 weeks ago. Never heard of this before. I've tried looking it up on YouTube. There's like nobody on YouTube has talked about it. It's a real little known movie starring James Remar called Quiet Cool. It's a fun low budget 80s action movie, and the thing I like about Quiet Cool that separates it from a lot of other 80s action movies, it's only 81 minutes, and it doesn't waste its time with any stupid or useless. It gets right into the story. It gets into the story for like 5 minutes, then the story just ends, and it leaves you with all the action. I like that. I think it's good that way, and as I said, I have never heard of this movie before 2 weeks. I don't know if any of you have heard of Quiet Cool. It came out through New Line Cinema, and it was produced by the guy who produced Nightmare on Elm Street, apparently. What's his name? Robert Shea. Directed by Clay Boris. I never heard of Clay Boris either, but stars James Remar and Nick Cassavetes, he's a bad guy in The Wraith. He's a bad guy in this movie. I don't really know why this guy is being spotlighted on the cover, because, I mean, this is one of the bad guys, but he's really not in the movie a lot. and I looked him up. He's really no big actor or anything, so I don't really know why this guy's being shown on the cover. But it Quiet Cool's a fun action movie. If you are a fan of action movies, it's a pretty solid chance you're gonna like this. It's non-stop action, pretty much. There's always something happening. It leaves you with the story, then it just cuts right into the movie. It's got a really cool opening scene with involving a guy on roller skates. And it also has an awesome end credit song by Joe Lamont. They're gonna face quiet cool. I'm on a mission to do what I've got to do. Quiet cool. Like nice rockin'. So if you're an action movie fan, yes, I would recommend Quiet Cool. This was a fun little 80s. As I said, it's really not common. I never heard of this before. So if you're a fan of action movies, definitely check it out. Strong chance you're gonna like it. And this one, you know me and my 80s movies, 80s action, 80s horror, 80s comedy especially. Couldn't pass this movie up. This is another one of the DVDs I ordered from Japan. Last update I showed my DVD of Armed and Innocent that came all the way from Japan. I don't know why. There's this one company in Japan, that Catalyst Entertainment, and they're coming out with all these they came out with all these rare TV movies on the silver screen label. That's how I got Armed and Innocent. This one, once again, just like Armed and Innocent, 0 release ever in the United States. And it's this real fun, just fun comedy called Class Cruise. It's directed by the guy that directed Crash Course, which is another 80s TV movie comedy I really like. And this movie, it's just like that. It's the same formula. You get a graduating class of 2 rival high schools going on this cruise ship graduation scholar cruise together. The 2 high schools are sort of going back and forth, hating each other, pulling pranks on each other, and trying to get one of the other schools kicked off the ship. And it stars everybody from popular 80s sitcoms. Like, the main star of the movie is Billy Warlock, and I remember him. I don't know what TV shows he's been on. I remember him from Society, that really weird horror movie I got over there. This is a fun movie, though. I mean, I know TV movies, normally I hate them all. I don't know why I like Armed and Innocent. That's more of a drama, but I don't know. But this it feels like you're watching a regular 80s comedy, as does Crash Course. So, I don't know how easy, I don't know how easy it is to find these Japanese DVDs, the Armed and Innocent, and as I said, it comes out through Catalyst Entertainment on the silver screen label or whatever. I don't know where you can order these from, but I've been getting them from this one guy. But the problem is, I ordered his last copy of Armed and Innocent. I got his last copy of Class Cruise. So we'll see. But it's got, other than that, you got Mark Price, who was the star of Trick or Treat, probably one of my favorite 80s horror movies. Ray Walston, McLean Stevenson, Richard Mall. It's a fun movie. If you could somehow track it down to watch it, definitely check out Class Cruise. 1989. It's just ultra 80s high school comedy fun. This is definitely one to pick up. Definitely one to watch. Class Cruise. That's a good one. Another thing, I don't know if I mentioned this, but Armed and Innocent too, since it's made by the same company. I don't know if all Japanese DVDs are like this, but their cases are way wider. Like, if you look at this compared to Quiet Cool, the case, it's way wider and way longer. When you put it on the shelf, it's like still sticking out. I don't know if all Japanese DVDs are like that with their wider cases or not, but no big deal. So yeah, fun movie. Now this next one I got because it was a penny, and I knew it was gonna be a pile of crap just by looking at the cover, but I just figured, why the hell not? Color from the Dark. This was a piece of crap. I wasn't really a fan of this. So boring. I didn't understand what anything was. Now this next one, I'm actually surprised I like this one, because I hate modern day horror movies. Normally I'm only into the 80s. And Orphan from 2009. CCH Pounder is the only actress or actor I knew in this movie, and even her role's not really that big. She plays a nun. Orphan, for a 2009 movie, horror movie, I liked it. I thought it was pretty solid. I thought it was kept my interest. A decent twist near the end. Certain characters died that I didn't think should have died, but can't do anything about that now. I believe this was like French made. I think this movie was made by some French production team. I'm not sure. It's got a bonus feature. It has an alternate ending. I have not watched that yet, so I don't know what that is. I'll have to look at that. But Orphans, I mean, if you're a fan of horror movies, well, you've probably seen this then. But I liked it. I got into it. It kept my interest. You're just thinking, oh, wow. Like, it starts off innocent enough, and then it takes a big turn. So, yeah, Orphan, you could buy this really cheap. I've seen this at Kmart for $5. You could buy this movie cheap. I'm sure you just buy the Blu-ray, but I'm a DVD guy. Always will be. I'm not into Blu-rays. The only Blu-ray I own is Prison, and I just got that for the DVD combo. Anyway, yeah, Orphan's a solid. If you're into horror movies and you haven't seen Orphan, give it a watch. It's a fun little modern day horror movie. This next one was an action movie. I read the cast, and the cast was awesome. Like, got Yaphet Kotto, Ken Foree, Lou Ferrigno, Lyle Alzado, George Kennedy, Jan Michael Vincent. Well, I will admit, though, I'm not really a fan of Jan Michael Vincent. Usually whenever I see a movie he's in, he's always playing the same damn role. He's always just... Yeah. Like, that's Jan Michael Vincent. All he ever does, he keeps his straight expressions. He just talks in a quiet, somber way, and he's usually always playing the bad guy. Jan Michael Vincent, I'm really not a fan of him. He's a plain actor, but I decided to give this one a shot. Hangfire. It's not really that good of an action movie. You get some fun scenes in there. Like, mainly in this movie, the fun part, Lyle Alzado and Lou Ferrigno are sort of hanging out through the entire movie, and Lyle Alzado, he was an ex-football player, starred in Destroyer. Lyle Alzado always wants to, like, eat. He's always hungry in this movie. He's like, where's the fucking food? And then the other guy would just be like, don't fucking eat. It's not... I can't really explain. I don't really remember the exact wording of it, but... It's not a good movie by any means, but there's some fun with the cast. Yaphet Kotto, there's a lot of bad guys in the movie. That's what the entire cast is made. Yaphet Kotto's a good guy. He's a cop. But Hangfire, I mean, it's got some fun moments in there. Is it a good movie by any means? No, but you can have mild fun with it. So yeah, it's pretty good. Next one I have never gotten a DVD that came in a case like this before. Blind Witness, it's nothing but a piece of thick paper that opens up. The disc is just sitting there, not on anything. I put the receipt behind it so it wouldn't get scratched. I've never seen a DVD packed like this before, and it's a TV movie from the 80s called Blind Witness. Did not think this was that good. I really was not a fan of this. I hate the way this is packed. Gotta be super careful holding it, but I was not a fan of Blind Witness. I did not think it was that good. I just pass on Blind Witness. This really was not that good. Paul LeMatt's in it. Hello there. And this last one, there's recently something I've noticed about my taste in movies and comedies too. You want to know what it is? Well, I realized I like old comedies, like 60s and 70s comedies. I don't know. I'm a fan of old comedies, so I decided to give this one a watch. It's a long movie. It's an hour and 52 minutes, but I had a lot of fun with it. It's a real silly comedy. It's from 1970. It's silly. But it's fun. It's a fun movie. I really enjoyed it. It was really cheap. It's this 1970 comedy starring Brian Keith, Ernest Borgnine, Susan Pleshette, and Tony Curtis. Tony Curtis is my favorite part about this movie. Tony Curtis in this movie is hilarious. It's Suppose They Gave a War and Nobody Came. It's a long title, but it's a fun movie. Ernest Borgnine plays the sheriff, and Tony Curtis is like this drunk. It's basically a military comedy. It's like a drafting school comedy. It's fun. Tony Curtis is drunk the entire movie, and it ends with this like big car chase, this tank, like this massive, all these cars chasing this tank, and it's a zany military comedy, and I had a lot of fun with it. It's a fun movie. It's long. I stayed watching it the entire time. I had fun with the movie. And as I said, I just recently developed that I have a thing for old comedies, apparently. You might remember Don Ameche. Don Ameche is in this. You ever see Trading Places with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd? He's one of the main stockbrokers in that movie. Ivan Dixon from Hogan's Heroes is in this, I thought that was a funny touch. But it's real cheap to buy. It's a lot of fun. If you like comedies, if you like older movies, if you like war movies, it's a military comedy. It's a lot of fun. I'd recommend it. I really enjoyed this one. And alright, going back through it all. Suppose They Gave a War and Nobody Came. Blind Witness. I hate the case, and I hated the movie too. Really not that good. Hangfire, you get some scenes that are fun, but it's really not that good of a movie. But some mild humor and fun with it. Orphan, which I surprisingly really liked. I did not think I was going to like it, considering it's the fact it's a modern day horror movie. This one surprised me. I really liked it. Color from the Dark, I thought was a piece of crap. I did not get into it. Class Cruise, very fun 80s comedy. Just awesome. Loved it. Quiet Cool, really cool. 80s action movie that really I have not heard anybody talk about. So yeah, definitely look this one up. It's really not that expensive to buy, and it's a fun movie. It's got a good soundtrack. I love the end credits song, Quiet Cool by Joe Lamont. Corky Romano, which a lot of people hate, but I really like. Comedy I saw when I was young. It grew with me. I really liked it. And American Vampire, which was a stupid... I hated this movie. This movie was just so over the top stupid. I was not a fan of it. It was just stupid. I mean, I was laughing at it because of how bad and how stupid some of the scenes were, but this Adam West, the big kahuna, vampire hunter, professional surfer, he's got like this 3-foot long ponytail. This is just stupid. Alright, well, hope you all enjoyed my April 23rd, 2013, whichever you want to call it, DVD update. I have no idea when the next one will be, so stay posted. Alright.